Now, the next step is like what are the best methods where we can uh, collect data to build our planimetric maps or topographic maps in the best possible manner, right? One is the direct method, right? And one is the indirect method. In the direct method, we see how we do that, okay? The direct method is where you use your total station. You select your whatever horizontal control and vertical control, and from that horizontal control or vertical control and vertical control, you measure the angle in vertical direction, you measure the uh, angle in horizontal direction from whatever your reference line is or reference point is, and then you measure the slope distance or horizontal distance, right? Basically, in direct method, you divide the whole area into rectangles, into triangles, or whatever you feel convenient into the segments. And at the intersection of those lines, you take the readings, right? You take the readings and then you refine that data. You do certain calculation, you find x and y coordinates and z coordinates, and then you transform those whatever your data is with the help of a scale on a sheet, or whether you insert that data into your computer software, and that software will help you to draw the maps, right? So that is kind of a direct method. The indirect method, in indirect method, you do not divide that area into equal size segments. Rather, you choose what is the best point to take the measurements. If there is a steep slope, you will take a lot of measurements there. If there is a river, you will take a lot of measurements there. If there is a ridge, you will take a lot of measurements around that ridge because you want to close the contours there. If there is a highway, you will take a lot of measurements along the highway to put the exact location of the highway. So anything, any feature which is a distinct feature and important feature, in the indirect method, you take a lot of measurements there, whether there is a valley, whether there is a mountain, whether there is a river, whether there is a stream, whether there is a bridge, whether there is a roadway. So indirect method, you yourself divide, think that what is the important points and what are necessary points to take readings to build a good map. And this is called indirect method, right? So now this is about the, when you give the data into your computer software and how that computer software build that, map uh, using your data. So this is a theoretical topic. If you go there in the chapter which I sent you, um, where was that? This coordinate scale or grid method. So if you see like what we were talking on grid method, that this was the area you wanted to survey, you divided that area into squares, and from that squares at each intersection you took the readings, and with the help of those reading x, y, and z coordinates, you develop these contours. However, you see that these contours are not closing right here. So anyhow, there was that topic. We will see later, I think. All right. So the grade method and the irregular method. Grade method is where you divide that area, into squares, regular squares, and then you take the readings at the, points which are the intersection points of those rectangles or those, squares. Irregular method is where you yourself decide where you want to take the, take all those readings. And this is triangulated irregular network. This is the way how computers or your software build your, map. What methodology that software uses to build the map is called triangulated irregular network, right? So you can go and study there. Radiation by total station, basic field methods for locating the topographic details. One is, this is a ground method, radiation by total station. In this ground method, you have some control station. Here you can see what is the control station, John, where this John is having his total station here. That is a control point, right? Now he has decided that this point 2, point 3, point 4, and point 5. He has decided to survey these points. Can somebody tell me why he wants to survey these points? Like we just said, that there are horizontal and vertical controls. So this sign shows the control station. So point 1 and point 2 is the control station, right? You want to verify that whatever your control stations are, whatever the data for those control stations you have, is the same data if you verify them again, right? And then this is a maple tree. So any feature, if you want to put that maple tree on your map, you need to take the readings of that map. What are its x coordinates, what are its y coordinates, and what is the total height of that maple tree if it is a topographic map. So definitely you would take the reading of that maple tree. And then there is a sanitary manhole. So sanitary manhole, like anything which is sanitary or water stream, or it is important to measure that, right? And to have that on your maps. So sanitary map hole is an important point. That's why he has decided to take reading on that. And then there is some building corner. So that building is from, semi-permanently or permanently structured there. So you must know what is the at least one point of that, one corner of that building, because then from the building map, if you have one corner coordinates, you can calculate the other corner's coordinates, right? So coordinate square or grid method. The another method, which is the field-based method, is the grid method, where you divide this whole area into the squares, and then you take the readings like at point A, B, C, D, whatever these points are, 1, 2, 3, right? So at every corner, you see that you have readings and you have data there. And with the help of that data, then you plot these contours. So this is called coordinate square or grid method. So offset from a reference line. This method is implied where you have to survey something which is longitudinal, right? Longitudinal mean if that is a rail line, if that is a highway, if that is a road, if that is a stream, if that is a river, if that is some flood embankment. So in that case, for example, here, this is a stream or river. So you establish this line, which starts from this station to, I don't know where this ends or whether that ends or not. And using that line as a reference line, you measure, the corners or the center line of this river or this stream, whatever that is. So this kind of method is called offset from a reference line method, to measure the or to locate the topographic details of whatever feature that is, whether that is a road or highway or railway or whatever that is. So this kind of, method is called a reference line method, offset from a reference line method. And then there is GNSS. I think that is Global Navigational Satellite System. So this is another method, which is aerial method. You can also locate the details of